Okay, let's keep this rolling. Fourth video, hopefully the last one. This one is going to be on so-called 4 grandmasters of ninjutsu. We're going to find out whether these guys really are these grandmasters or whether they're just frauds. So let's quickly get on with this. We're going to start in the bottom of the list of credibility and work our way up. First name should crack you up if you know anything about the martial arts world. Ashita Kim. Yeah, there's got to be a few people right now watching this who are laughing or at least snorting or chuckling over that name. This 50-year-old little white guy in, well, at least plus 50-year-old little white guy in Florida is supposedly a grandmaster in ninjutsu. You might be noticing, wait a minute, you said Ashita Kim. What do you mean by a little white guy? Yeah, it's a white guy. All right. Old white dude, gone by 2 other names too. There's Ashita Kim, aka Christopher Hunter, aka Radford W. Davis. That name has recently come out. That's his real name. This guy's infamous in the martial arts world. He's come out with a lot of books on ninjutsu, and I think has actually made more money off of coming out with ninja books and ninja DVDs than other people out there, more legitimate people. I can't even, there's so much to explain. It could take just one video alone to explain just how much of a fraud this guy is, but I'll try to cut it down, you know. Let me just speed things up here. For one thing, to see how much legitimate he is, he supposedly runs an organization called The Dojo and Dojo Press. The Dojo is an interesting little organization he runs because they basically mail out black belts to people who want them. Let's say you want to open up a school, but you don't necessarily have the fighting skills or credentials needed to be respected enough to open up a school, but you want to, you know, fake out the soccer moms out there to bring little Johnny in. Well, just pay Mr. Davis $55 and you can have your very own black belt in whatever martial art you just happen to make up. It doesn't even matter if the martial art has a ranking system, you can get a black belt in it anyway. You know, Kung Fu, Long Fist, Cha Chuan, Bagua, Val Tudo, Wing Chun, Taekwondo, Karate. It doesn't matter. Just tell them you want a black belt in that and pay your $55 and come up with some fake credentials and you too can have 55. You probably don't even have to come up with credentials. One guy was able to do it to prove that this organization existed. Sounds like a legit grandmaster of ninjutsu to you, huh? Then there's also the fact that he claims that well, first of all, he actually doesn't really come up with any claims to where the hell he got his skills from in the first place. Because he can't produce anything because there really isn't anyone. He just somehow is this great grand ninja master who just knows this shit. Little white guy in Florida. No teachers, no set school, nothing. Now, granted, he claims that his skills are from the Koga lineage of ninjas, but if you remember my last video, you'll know that anyone saying that is most likely bullshitting you. Then we gotta go into his $10,000 challenge. Oh yes, see, he says that he's come up with a set of obstacles, I mean rules, in case you want to challenge him. And he said he came up with this to keep out all those unwarranted attacks by people who are liars and fakers and trying to detract from him. Actually, translation, he came up with these things to keep legitimate people from beating the living shit out of him and proving what a fake he is. If you want to challenge this guy, there's a few things you got to go through. First of all, you got to post a $25,000 bond in order to guarantee that you're going to be the one showing up. Of course, you're going to show up if you want to show him up. Then you have to pay him $10,000 to get him to show up. He claims it's because he's a professional fighter and he has to be paid for his skills. So yeah, you don't win $10,000 for beating him. You actually have to pay him $10,000 just to get him to show up. Then you have to prove your own martial arts credentials. So you got to get your master or school or whatever to provide certificates or whatever so he can deem you worthy enough. Then you have to make sure this match is public, which means you got to have tickets to the event and, you know, pay for the ads and all that. All this has to, by the way, come out of your own pocket. You got to pay for all this, rent out the halls, get the tickets, the flyers, the posters, whatever. Then the share of the profits, part of it has to go to him. Half of it has to go to him. Then he will automatically win the match if he pins you in the ground for 5 seconds, if your shoulder touches the ground for I think 3 seconds or something like that. Of course, if you get knocked out, if he puts you in any type of submission hold, you lose. If a physician in the fight says you're unable to fight, you lose. You get disqualified for unsportsmanlike conduct. But the funny thing is, he says this is a no-holds-barred fight. So what exactly is no sportsmanlike conduct? So as you can see, there's a lot stacked against you should you try to prove this guy has no fighting skills. Yet someone did try. Someone in Bushido.net, and by the way, that's the best site to go to catch up people on BS. Someone in Bushido.net challenged him, and Mr. Davis backed out at the last minute. So much for a Ninja Grandmaster. Next Grandmaster, Frank Dukes. That name should seem familiar to you guys if you've seen the movie Bloodsport. This guy's also come up with some rather incredible claims. He called himself like one of the very first American ninjas around. He supposedly had a secret ninja teacher. Yeah, right. Couldn't prove that this guy existed when he was pressed. He claims to have, he's been in the military and he has, received awards and, commendations. No, not commendations. He received, awards and accolades for his service in Vietnam, even though it's been proven that he joined the Marines in 1975. Let's see. He has claimed that the CIA has one time asked him to be a special agent of theirs because of his knowledge. Oh, and then there's this, the Kumite. That's his claim to fame, being this grand champion of the Kumite for several years in a row. That's being sponsored by some secret organization known as the IFAA, which no one has been able to prove exists. And the Kumite itself, no one's been able to prove exists. I know people will say, well, this because it's secret. Come on, use your brains. Let's dissect this a bit. If there's a secret organization called the Kumite that's been around for years and years since World War II, why is it that Frank Duke seems to be the only person who can recall this event? He seems to be the only person coming out talking about it. There's all these other fighters. Surely someone else would like to make some money off of this damn thing. What about the past champions before Frank Duke showed up? Wouldn't they want to make a little money off of this? Where are they? He's claimed to have gotten the most knockouts, and at one time claimed to have gotten 56 knockouts in one tournament. Okay, where are these 56 people that he fought? They've never come forward. Second of all, okay, that means that there were at least 57 people, including him, there. And I think this took place in the Bahamas or something like that. So you mean to tell me that somehow 57 people, plus their girlfriends, coaches, entourage, whatever, plus the people organizing the event, plus the audience, all were somehow able to keep the secret in one particular place? Something don't add up. Oh, and then there were like 2 feats that were attributed to him. He supposedly had broken 2 champagne bottles with one kick, and they were at different heights in the air. That's been proven to be faked. The champagne bottles were made out of candied glass. This is movie glass. Then he had supposedly in France broke through bulletproof glass with his bare fist. 2 students of his have come forward and said that the whole thing was staged. The 2 students happened to be stage magicians, and they found a way to fake it. The glass was actually plexiglass. Look it up. The stuff's on the net, And so yeah, let's see. This guy is claimed military experience that he doesn't have, claimed a teacher that he can't prove, and has faked martial arts feats. Ninja Grandmaster? No. Now let's get to the last 2. We have Stephen K. Hayes and the Grand Soke himself, Masaki Hatsumi. Now, Stephen K. Hayes is supposedly a student of Masaki who's founded the Bojinkan, and most people regard him as the only real ninja walking around. Now, Stephen K. Hayes did study under him, and for me, it looks like he does know something. But from what other people are saying who have been around him, who have been around Masaki and who trained with him, Hayes doesn't know as much as he would like you to think he knows. He has not grasped as many skills as he'd like to say he knows, and he's also had a falling out with his Grandmaster teacher. Apparently, he had been giving out certificates and teaching people and putting rank in a particular school of ninjutsu fighting that he can't lay claim to because he's never studied it. At least he's never studied it when he was under Hatsumi. So he can't lay claim to it, and yet he was handing out certificates and belts and ranks in it. When Hatsumi found out, he kicked him out of the organization. This happened fairly recently. And Hayes now is running an organization called the Toshindo. That's his splinter off of the Bujinkan system. From what I've been reading, it seems to be a watered down version of everything that Hatsumi had taught him. Does it have some combat merit? Possibly, I don't know. I've never trained under it, but let the buyer beware. And last, we're at Masaki Hatsumi. Now, this guy seems to be the most legit. And a lot of people swear that, yeah, this guy is good, this guy is good. I'm pretty sure he is, but there are a few things that are a little bit shaky. Like I said in the last video, the things that would certify whether he's trained under real ninjutsu skills or not, those particular scrolls and documents, he refuses to hand over to be authenticated. Then there's the fact that the person who he's supposedly trained under, and I hope I pronounced his name right, Toshitsugo Takamatsu. That's supposedly his teacher. Well, that guy's teacher apparently can't be found. And that guy lived under modern Japan. I doubt his records would be just vanished like that, but no one seems to be able to find this particular teacher. And then there's the fact that people in Japan question his credibility. To date, Japan has not officially seen him as an official ninjutsu school. So that's something to ponder. I think I'll cut it off right here. I'm running out of time, and I think I went a little bit more into Hatsumi in the last vid anyway, but if you want me to go further, I'll put out another vid. But it seems to me, as far as this whole ninjutsu thing goes, let the buyer beware. There's so much bullshit in this art that, quite frankly, I don't know why anyone would bother with it. But that's just me. Catch you guys later.